Jill, reflecting on last night's primary, we can look back to the race for the 49th Congressional District, which was extremely competitive, and millions of dollars, as you know, went into backing the 16 candidates. How did that impact the race?
It definitely impacted the race. It also predicted a little bit how this turned out. The front runners early on were Rocky Chavez, a Republican, and Doug Applegate, a Democrat. Neither of them ended up making it through. What we see is that Rocky Chavez only managed to raise $230,000 for his own campaign, and about $1.8 million were spent opposing him by Democratic groups, negative attack ads and things like that. They seemed pretty successful in making him a less popular candidate, and as a result, the Republican who landed on the ticket for the fall was Diane Harkey instead of Rocky Chavez. And as for the Democrats, Doug Applegate wasn't a good enough fundraiser. He only raised $890,000, and three other Democratic candidates raised more than him, including the one who ended up winning on the ticket in second place with 17% of the vote, environmental attorney Mike Levin.
And a lot of attention was paid to how much outside money was coming in for the San Diego County District Attorney's race. And as you know, more than $2 million was raised and went into to support the candidate Genevieve Jones-Wright. Why did that not work?
It's a really interesting case. A lot of money went into that race to support her because this is the first time the seat was open after 15 years of a Republican serving as district attorney. There was an interim district attorney, Summer Stephan, but a lot of people thought maybe this is the time for a reform candidate, Genevieve Jones-Wright. $2 million of outside money. It looks like it wasn't enough. What happened here? It could have been that they thought that it just wasn't time for this kind of candidate here right now, a progressive reform candidate. Or perhaps what we're seeing is that Stephan's got so much more name recognition that Genevieve Jones-Wright, even with the money, just couldn't make it happen.
So Jill, let's move on to the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, the District 4 Ron Roberts seat, now that he is terming out this year. Nathan Fletcher, former assemblyman, and Bonnie DeMantis, former district attorney, they were the top two moving on to face off in the November general election. What can we expect when it comes to fundraising?
Well, we know that in the fall that Nathan Fletcher is going to have a big advantage fundraising-wise over Bonnie DeMantis. He has a lot of help from the Democratic Party. We know he'll continue to get some money from them. Lorena Gonzalez Fletcher, his wife, is an assemblywoman in the California State Assembly. We also know that there's a lot of labor union money going to support him, and some of the labor union money that's been supporting the other Democratic candidates in this race might come forward and back him as well, knowing that he's the chance to flip this seat to a Republican. Meanwhile, Bonnie DeMantis only captured 27% of the vote, and she's the only Republican in the race, so it's going to be an uphill battle for her to get her name out there and get the attention so that way she can win the seat.
Things might heat up. Very interesting. Thank you so much. iNews Source reporter Jill Castellano, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.